Hi everyone, I am back to share my December journal. It's really not a December daily. If you've watched my other December journal projects, I don't record every day. I just record when I have events and things that I would like to remember. So this is my 2017 version. I have used the newest Tim Holtz paper pad, paper stash. And a couple of other sheets that I had in my stash that I felt really went with the collection. I have made this book, it's junk journal style, and I used the tutorial from Johanna Clough. That's in her Etsy shop, Little Bindy. And so let me just get into it. When I saw this paper, I knew that I was absolutely going to use that on my cover. And I like to keep my covers fairly plain and simple. I've just got the year here and a little bit of trim on the side, and then the back and the spine are the same. I've closed it with a little bit of seam binding, and then I've got a charm here with one of the Tim Holtz flashcards from this year. A little bit of trim. I got this gorgeous charm from Liz from Molly's Mantle on Etsy. On the back it's got that really beautiful green gem, so thank you, Liz. It goes perfectly with this. And then on my charm I've just got a few jingle bells. I've got one of the Tim Holtz skates, a little button, and Mary, and then a little pine cone. So that's the front, that's the charm. So this got extremely chunky. The spine is 1 3/4 and it really needed to be much bigger than that. I didn't think it was going to be that big this year, but you can see it's a bit crazy. So let me just jump in, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time telling you kind of about my events, because honestly, I know you really don't care, because you don't really know me, you don't know my family or friends. So I'm just going to talk more about what I did in terms of the pages versus explain a lot about, the event itself. So on the front page, I have talked a little bit about why I do my December daily. I've got a little pocket here. I added, because the Tim Holtz paper is only 8 by 8 and this book widthwise was 4 3/4, I've added a few extra papers on the side and did some edge punching there. Lots of tabs. I always like to include a calendar just so that I can remember events, and then I've just closed it with that little Tim Holtz bell on a paper clip and a little bit of trim. I record my entire kind of Christmas season, whether the event happens in November or December. And so what I've done here, I attended a couple of craft fairs at the end of November, so I've included that here. And I've just got a couple of pictures there. I've put a tab at the top, used my Dymo labeler there. And one of them that I went to, Tori Bissell, you might know Tori, she's on YouTube, she's got a lot of followers and you're likely one of them. She had an event or a craft fair that she did that was fairly close to where I live, so I decided to go and meet her. So I have her picture in her display, and I took a picture of what I bought. I was lucky enough to get one of her beautiful junk journals, and then I've got her card here. Got an envelope here, journaled about an event with some pictures. Oh, that was when Prince Harry got engaged. I'm not sure why I felt compelled to include that in my December daily, but I did, so there you go. So now we get into December, and I've used some of the Tim Holtz boxes. Anyway, they're in his collection from this year, and I've just cut them apart, and you'll see I've used the various pieces throughout. This is just a bag with some journaling on it. Here I've used one of his ephemera pieces from this year in a pocket, and just added a little bit of sequins and so on to make a shaker pocket. I've used lots of washi tape this year. This is center of the signature pocket with journaling. And this is something that I saw on Pinterest. I had gone out for coffee with a friend, and I got one of the peppermint mochas this year from Starbucks. Oh my gosh, they're so good. So I decided to keep the cup, and I cut it apart and just put the picture on the back. So that is not unique to me, that I did see on Pinterest. More tabs, company Christmas party. The other part of that envelope with some journaling. And then I decided I wanted to record all of the projects that I made, that you guys all supported me on. So I've got lots of pictures of those. First picture, of course, is my little crafty companion here, my little Autumn. She sleeps in her bed while I spend hours in the craft room. So then I had a retro collection, as you may know, and I've used one of the library pockets from Denise's shop, A Tattered Dream, on Etsy, and I'll link her below. I've used one of her library pockets and cards there, and then I've just added pictures there. And more here. I decided I wanted to add the card that I sent out this year, and that's what this is. Now, I was inspired by Wendy from Wendy's Journal Adventures. She showed us how to use cards in your December daily, and kind of make it useful, the whole card useful. So for the sentiment, where the sentiment was, I've just stitched on some paper and made a pocket. And on the back, I've just added a little shaker pocket bag where the Hallmark label was. And then inside the card, I've just talked about who I sent them to. And then I'm back into my collection. So I've just tipped in a Tim Holtz plastic pocket here, and then just more pictures of the collections that I did this year. So that's what that is. Day 14, I've used one of Denise's sale price tags here, just kind of continuing with that retro theme. I've got day 14 here. I've done my journaling. It's in a bag here, and then another Tim Holtz piece, and I've added some pictures on the back. And I have to say that this book was inspired by one that I did a couple of years ago with the other Tim Holtz collection. And I've just really found that that is my style for these December dailies, or December journals. And so that's why I decided to go with his papers again. These are the additional papers that I used from my stash that I felt really went along well with the Tim Holtz collection. So I'd like to every year make sure that I watch, movies and listen to music that really kind of are traditional for me, and that really make my season kind of special every year. So on this side, I've done some journaling about the music that I was listening to this year. And then on this side are the movies that I watched. Now, this page is inspired by I'm a Cool Mom, Jessica. She had a tutorial on taking envelopes and attaching them together to make like an accordion fold. So that's what this is. And I've used on the outside some of the Tim Holtz film strip ribbon, because these are the movies that I watch. So in this pocket, I've just done my bits of journaling about that. And then in this pocket, I added kind of a picture of the movie and then the date that I watched those movies. So that's watch. And then in here, I like to always keep copies or actually keep the receipts of the things that I've purchased for presents for the season. So that's what is in this bag. Those are all my receipts. And then just some journaling here and a picture. And then one of the stores I always like to go into, and if you're in Canada, you'll know Bowrings. They always decorate it in just beautifully for Christmas. And so I always go in and I always take pictures because it's just so beautiful and inspiring. And so that's what this page is all about. And then I got the potpourri that I like to have during the year, and just picture on the back of it set up. A blank page there. I've just added a bit of trim, and then I've just listed the presents that I bought. This I got from a friend. That was the card that she gave me, and I've just done some journaling on the inside and some pictures. So I've just stuck it to this page, and then of course this piece was sticking out, so I just added that. Bag here, and this is a printable from GT Designs on Etsy from Renee, and I've got some journaling and a picture on the back. Day 17, I did some baking, and then I've got the family recipe there. Sorry, I've been a little bit out of frame there. I apologize for that. This, I just always like to every year record kind of my decorations. So these are just a few that I've done this year. I added some Tim Holtz bells there. This was wrapping this year. And I love this page, the center of the signature. And this is the top of one of those Tim Holtz boxes, and I've just made it into a shaker pocket. And then I just journaled for the 22nd and then the 23rd of December there. And this is just a pocket. And then just talked about here, my autumn here. It's been so cold here today. It's -34 with the wind chill. Just ridiculous out. So just kind of talking about keeping warm and cuddling up and watching movies on the couch with her. Again, some journaling. I also like to do a special kind of baking spread. So that's what I've done this year. I made this little booklet and just journaled about what I made, and then I've just got the pictures of those there. And kind of the retro recipes that I used. This is an envelope, and it's a flip out. So I've got December 27th here with the journaling, and the 29th here with some journaling. And in this envelope is actually, every year I make the resolution, I'm not going to go into Michael's and spend a pile of money at Christmas, and every year that just doesn't happen. So that envelope contains all of those receipts for all of that Christmas shopping at Michael's. So that's what that is. And again, that's one of the Tim Holtz boxes. That's the top of the box. So here we are on the 24th. I've just made this tag. It's got a little pocket here. I don't have anything in it, but I've got my journaling for the 24th on the back. And then I went to my brother's for Christmas Eve dinner. Some journaling there, and just the family pictures underneath. And that is from Denise's store as well. And then here's Christmas Day, and again I've got a bag here, got my journaling here. We had a beautiful snowy Christmas this year. We don't always get a lot of snow for Christmas. This year we just had a ton, and it was snowing Christmas morning when I got up. So I don't know if you can see that, but that was the intent of that picture. Again, puppy and all of those things. So then that was kind of the morning, and then in this tag I've got kind of about Christmas dinner, and then I've got pictures of opening gifts there. And then that's it. My younger brother was working over Christmas, so he was not able to come home, but he will be coming home in February. So we're going to be having another Christmas dinner and more presents and doing things that we would normally all do together. So I've left myself a few pages, because even though it's going to happen in February, it's still part of my Christmas, and I will be recording that as well. So that is my December daily. I use that term loosely for this year. Thanks everyone so much for your support last year. I've got some fun things planned for 2018, and I hope you will join me along the way. Thanks everyone.